Okay, everybody, this is a glass container that I purchased from IKEA years ago, and I've also seen them at Michael's and Walmart. We're also going to be using this Master Design spray paint in the color Champagne that I purchased from Michael's, and the masking tape instead of the painter's tape. Now here are some coasters I had left over from a project years ago, or they could be actually used as tiles, but we used them as coasters. And here I'm just showing you that I'm short burst of paint, of the spray paint to cover these. I don't want to completely cover them because I want the patina that's on them to actually show through somewhat. And here is the glass container. I've spray paint just the bottom, maybe a third of the way up. All right, guys, everything is painted and dried. Here is the actual base. Beautiful champagne color. Okay. And here are the coasters. I didn't want it completely covered because there are some areas where it's still kind of translucent, and that's the way I wanted it. And I love all the intricate detailing on it and the texture. I decided not to sand them away because I wanted all of that to stay on there just to give it added character. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just use this eyeshadow case, to measure exactly where I want it. And that's maybe a little too high. Let's see. Let's try the card deck. Okay, we're gonna go with this. So what I'm gonna be using to adhere the tiles to the base is the E6000 Quick Hold. And I'm gonna hit it with a dab of hot glue, to help it set in place. Is it on? Yeah. Okay. Without any more talking, let's just get it done. Hey, you guys. I just wanted to interrupt your viewing pleasure for just a moment. I just want to let you know that there's a part 2 to this DIY that I'm creating for you today. And as you can see, I'm in the garage getting down. I had to come and take a little break. But if you remember, I'm going to show you this video right here. I already gave you a sneak peek of the part 2. So if you don't want to miss it, and you don't want to miss it, believe me, because it is epic. I'm loving it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up right about now. You hit that subscribe button and you hit your notification bell, okay? Click it to all so you make sure that you don't miss it. Now, without any further ado, I'm gonna let you get back to your viewing pleasure while I get back to my DIY in the garage. Peace. Now, there's one thing I want to warn you guys about if you decide to recreate this project. There are some spray paints that work really well when you're adhering them with different types of glue. However, this particular paint gave me a run for my money. One thing I would do differently is adhere everything before painting them. At this point, I'm going to hold it in place for just a few seconds to let the hot glue adhere But as you can see, this is what I meant earlier about using the glue that I was using for this particular project. After painting it, I had to go back in and just, you know, actually add a little bit more hot glue to get it to adhere properly. But in the end, it worked out. But again, what I would do differently is adhere it first. And now I'm just going to go around the entire piece and repeat the same process. Now that the last piece is in place, or the foot, I'm going to bring you in just a little bit so you can see where I've added the glue here at the bottom to make sure it adheres. You actually do not see it at this point, which is what I was going for here. And that color is so pretty. Now here, as you can see, I did end up going back in and adding just a few more drops of hot glue on each side, just to ensure that there would be some security there, because once this thing is completed and turned right side up, it will be able to hold several pieces, not to mention that the glass itself is pretty weighty. So I wanted to make sure that we would not have any hiccups along the way once it's completed. So what we're going to do now, to let it sit for a couple of hours, which I actually let it sit for a couple of days because I got busy, but I am going to reinforce it with some painter's tape and let it completely dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, the piece, like I said before, has sat for several days, and I know for a fact that it is completely dry, and we're just going to go ahead and remove the painter's tape here and move on to the completion of this project. As I was removing the painter's tape, I did notice that there were several spots where the paint actually adhered to the painter's tape and was removed, but it's okay. We'll just do simple little touch-ups to rectify that in areas where I think it needs it. And here she is, and I'm really happy at the way this project is turning out. The color, this champagne color, is really brilliant. The camera's not really picking up the metallic sheen of it, but it is really pretty, you guys. And again, I'm happy at the way this is turning out, and we're gonna keep on moving. Now to dress her up in her Sunday best, I initially was gonna use this rhinestone sheet that I purchased from Amazon from the seller's Ling's Boutique, but I switched it up to the rhinestone, the crystal rhinestone that's on the roll, only because, and here's the SKU, and I'll link it in the description box. And I decided to switch to this one because this particular one, although they are very similar, this one is more pliable for what I'm doing, going around the corners on this piece. And here I'm just measuring the length of the strips that I'm going to need in between each section of the coasters here. And let's get it started. Now for this section, I'm going to use somewhat of a stippling technique to apply the glue here because I don't want it to come out in globs because it will seep through over your crystal rhinestones, and that will have a tendency to dull its shine. So this is why I'm doing it this way. The crystal rhinestone wrap comes with a film to protect the crystals, and I'm going to leave that on until the very end. So here we're just going to apply it, and I'll show you what that looks like here shortly. You can see the protective film here. And again, I'm going to leave it on all sides until we are completed. And this is what it's looking like so far. And now we're just going to go ahead and apply the crystal rhinestone all the way around. Now the glue I'm using for this project is the Gorilla Clear Grip. And I just forgot to mention that earlier. I thought you guys would like to know what I was using. And now we're just going to apply it all the way around. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day, evening, or night, whatever time you're watching this video. I pray that you guys are staying woke and staying prayed up. This is a time that we're all getting through together. And as the word says, I pray for you, you pray for me, we pray for each other. We'll get through this. And we're getting through it. So let's just look for the silver lining in everything that's going on. Perspective is key. We're almost to the end of getting the rhinestone wrap, the crystal rhinestone wrap in place. And that's where we are. And it is so giving me a Versace vibe. I'm loving it. And here we are. The rhinestone is in place. The film is still attached. And again, like I said before, I'll remove that at the end. Right now, I just want to leave it in place. Actually, let's just go ahead and rip it off. Alrighty, here it is. With the exception of a little cleanup, and I am going to add a few little rhinestone pieces in the middle of the circular area just to give it a little more flair. Now, the next time you see this beauty, she will be completed and styled. Thank you for watching and hanging in to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gave you a little inspiration to try it for yourself. And here she is in all her glory. Now, I may later go around and add one string of the rhinestone wrap actually on the circular part, but for now, we're going to leave it as is. And now, let's see it with a little greenery affixed. Here she is with a green topiary. And here she is with one of my crystal vases. And I placed this in here just to show you guys how sturdy the coasters are adhering to the bottom. That crystal vase is extremely heavy. So with the vase and the bowl itself, the combined weight, it's holding up pretty well. Alrighty guys, this is it. Again, thank you for watching. Stay woke, stay prayed up, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace and love to you always. I'm out.